Hey everyone, Tim with Collect Jurassic back with another news update about Mattel Jurassic World toys. We're going to be focusing on one specific toy today that's pretty integral to the film. If you've watched the Jurassic World Dominion trailer, you're already familiar with the species. It's going to be Quetzalcoatlus. That is the massive action Quetzalcoatlus, which we've talked about on the channel here before. I think I've showed images of it here in the packaging. And this is a new figure from Mattel, and I will go ahead and let you know in the video we'll be covering its comparisons to the previous version of Quetzalcoatlus and sort of identifying how this is actually a newer figure than the one that came before, and obviously it's meant to align more to the species in the movie. Of course, if you've watched the trailer, there's a scene they show where they attack the plane with Chris and Claire and Kayla flying a plane. It looks awesome, which gets me really excited about this toy, which is why I wanted to do a whole video about it, because there's a lot of toy images that haven't been seen yet that I'm going to show in this video of this toy that get me really excited for this new flying reptile figure from Mattel. So let's go ahead and look at the figure out of the box. In this next picture, you'll be able to actually get a better idea of how this figure is different than the previous version. So pay close attention to the head shape, the way the feet are, the way the claws are on the wings, like sort of the joints on the wings. Pay attention to all that in this photo. Take it all in. So we'll be doing a quick comparison with the Mattel version here in a second. Of course, the paint is obviously different than the Mattel version, but take in those details, the claws, the head, all that stuff, the feet. It all looks very different compared to their previous version, which was 2019's Dino Rivals Quetzalcoatlus. So you can see that the joints on the wings are a little different. The hand claws on the wings are much smaller on this one. There's no on the feet, there's no like thumb claw at all. It's just part of the mold. It's not separately molded like it is on the new version. And of course, the head is totally different. The way the beak closes, and then that little crest on top of the head, all a completely different mold to better match the movie. So this was a great figure when it came out. Kind of figured they might just repaint it for Dominion and call it a day, but they actually did go through and retool the whole figure from the ground up so that it does match the movie more. So here we go. Switching back, you can see that, what's different about this. Definitely the head is the probably the main thing, and probably the most important thing if you're trying to match up with the movie. But I'm surprised they went back and revisited other parts of the figure too. Honestly, they didn't really need to do that. I don't think most people would have noticed, but I'm glad they did, because it makes this figure that much more special. And I love the paint deco on this new Quetzalcoatlus too. I love the little blue crest and the splashes of orange on the beak. Looks really, really nice. Very, avian-like paint coloration, which is cool. A little more naturalistic. And I'm assuming there's more than one of these in the movie, but we'll have to wait and see. It'd be cool if there was like a whole flock attacking the plane. That'd be awesome. But the figure just looks fantastic. Lots and lots of detail. Of course, we talked about the paint, but the detail looks really nice too. It's got like lots of molded plumage, feathers, all that going through the entire body. Then finer details like the wrinkles on the neck, bumps on the neck, veins on the wings, all that good stuff from Mattel. And I'm wondering if they, use like a film model or something to scan this. I know when those models from the film are handy, they always utilize those, and that's why the toys that are based from the film always end up looking a little more realistic. I'm wondering if that's the case here, or if it's sort of a hybrid of the figure they had and they retooled it with another pass of detail from the film. Not quite sure, but the end result looks really, really nice. And it's a big figure too. I mean, this is massive action, so it does have a couple action features too, and it's just a large figure to start off with. No electronics, but those action features for Quetzalcoatlus we'll go over. One of them obviously is going to be the wing flapping, which is just a button you press on the top of the figure that makes the wings flap. Pretty common feature on pretty much every Mattel Jurassic flying Pteranodon to date has had some sort of wing flapping feature, if it's a big enough toy. I know the battle damage figures just have articulated wings, but any action feature oriented flying reptile from Mattel has had the flapping wing feature, which is it's pretty obvious why you would do that. So just a quick press of a button and you get that flapping wing feature. I wish there was a way to fold the wings up so that you could put it into like a walking pose. I mean, the wings do fold, which we'll get to here in a minute, but I would have liked them to find a way to make this a standing pose Quetzalcoatlus. That'd be definitely something that if they made another version of this toy, I think a lot of us collectors would get after. One that was like in its sort of standing, walking, landed pose, since there's no way to obviously do it from this toy with articulation. We also have a secondary action feature, which is a button on the bottom, and that causes the beak to open and close. So I would probably note here that it does look like this figure has some nice neck articulation that works independent of the action features, meaning you don't have to press a button to make the whole head lunge forward. It looks like there's a ball joint right there on where the neck meets the body, so you can do a little bit of articulation, rotating the Quetzalcoatlus's head back and forth, up and down, without worrying about breaking anything, because that action mechanism is going to be operated independently of that. So button on top flaps the wings, button on the bottom snaps the beak. Pretty common action features again for flying reptiles. I know we've had a lot of beak snapping, beak lunging, so not at all surprised to see it here. But let's talk about that the wing folding that this figure does. I don't know if you would call this a feature. It's more so so that it fits in the box, honestly, but we do have an image of how the wings fold in and fold out, and it almost looks like they're intended to sort of be a halfway point between showing a walking landed Pteranodon. The bottom legs are poseable, so you can kind of do sort of a landed pose, but it's not quite the same as if they were to actually make it with its arms forward and its wings folded up, if they actually molded it that way. But it's still kind of fun. And again, I do think the principal function it serves is how it fits in the packaging, the product packaging. If they had to have the full wingspan, the box would be much bigger. So makes sense that they would. And then they do this with all their figures that are Pteranodons that have big wings. They make them folded, but they really do kind of open up nicely, and you don't even notice the seam when they do a good job with the paint application. So same thing at play with this latest version of Quetzalcoatlus. I don't know if you noticed, but on the back, aside from the action attack button, there's also a little trap door that shows the scan tag or the DNA code or whatever you want to call it. It's kind of funny. It's like a trap door. We saw this with the other Dominion flying reptiles. They have the same thing. It's like literally a trap door on the back that you open up, which, definitely affects the aesthetic of the figure. It looks like a button, but it's not. I wish they would have found some other way to make the DNA tags for these flying reptiles, but they can't really do the pull-out plastic thing that most of the figures have, because they just don't have a lot of, I guess, like girth to work with, for lack of a better term. There's really no place that you can pull one of those sliding things out. So trap door it is. But yeah, I mean, this figure does look like the real deal. It really matches the film counterpart. And of course, I think seeing it in the film is going to make it that much more exciting. It's definitely going to have at least one really key action sequence. And I've heard some rumblings of, the impact loose Quetzalcoatluses have had on the new Jurassic World we live in. Heard things about how there's like areas that are no fly zones because of them. So kind of, fun little details around this species, which of course add to the excitement around the toy for me. And the fact that it's all new and not just like a repaint or a slight retool is pretty cool. The same thing they did with the Metrodon. You think it's the same figure, but turns out they completely revisited it, just kind of using the old figure as the basic starting point. So fun stuff, great paint, great molds, awesome action attacks. It's going to be a good one. This is the massive action Quetzalcoatlus. I don't know if it's wave 1, but it'll be coming here pretty soon. Of course, that means that all the Jurassic World Dominion toys are right around the corner. April 17th is when those will be hitting stores, and hopefully Quetzalcoatlus is coming shortly thereafter. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my other videos for more Jurassic World Dominion toy breakdowns. Again, I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.